Well, great restaurants serve fresh foods, and when they use ingredients that are grown locally, that's even better. So our friend Ariel Turner, professional foodie with a passion for all things food and bev, is here as restaurant correspondent, talking about some spots that are known for sourcing local. One of your favorite subjects.
One of my very favorite subjects, so you're going to have to kick me off the set when it's time to go.
So we dig into this because you're talking about restaurants that really do bring the farm to the table. Some of them work directly with the farmers on what they're growing and sourcing. Talk about those relationships you see developing.
So and what's really important to understand is that the restaurants that we're talking about today, there are actually so many more who have relationships. We can only talk about so many in 3 minutes, you know, but we are in an area that has so many farmers that are producing such great produce that all of the restaurants in the area have the opportunity to partner with them, even from the time that things go in the ground and say, we want you to grow this specific produce so that we can sell it in our farm or sell it in our restaurant in 6 months. And that's how closely some of these chefs are able to work with farmers, which is really cool.
Beautiful. At peak freshness, right when it's needed then.
Yep.
So you've highlighted Fork and Plow here before, but now when we talk about locally sourcing ingredients, we definitely have to highlight Fork and Plow.
Yes, of course. And Fork and Plow, they're known in the Overbrook area for bringing really fresh ingredients. They work with local farmers. They have one specifically at Greenbrier Farm that they work with really closely. That's a partner in the restaurant. But then also they source from anywhere they possibly can locally, because when you have a very busy restaurant, one farm can't possibly supply everything. So you got to look outside of just the one farm that's Greenbrier, but which is great because again, we have so many amazing options in the area that they can do that. And so you're going to get fresh proteins, local proteins from them, local produce, and then they also have a little market in there. Like there's a lot of things going on there that are really great for that specific area. Great neighborhood spot, also great for families, but also great if you want a date night too.
Yeah, a fun place, and just so great to see how many relationships are happening.
Yes.
Here at camp in Camperdown Plaza. They're sourcing from farms. They're building these connections too. People are loving the result there.
Yeah, so Chef Drew, I was sitting at a Euphoria dinner back in September, and Drew was telling us that before, when he was planning this dinner back in the spring, he had worked with Nathan at Growing Green Farms to actually get these specific microgreens that he wanted to have on this dish. So when you think about the planning that goes into every dish that you're going to have at camp, probably there's been a discussion with a farmer months prior to actually bring that specific item to your plate.
It's a thoughtful meal. And it
very
shows.
Thoughtful.
In West Greenville on Perry Avenue, the Anchorage has been doing locally sourced American small plates. People love this.
Right, and since they opened, they've been really connected with local farms. They have a very strong connection with Horseshoe Farm. That's a part of their operation in TR. But what's also really cool is that they don't have a walk-in freezer the size that you can actually store things in.
Yeah.
So what you get there is going to be the very freshest that day.
That tells that story.
Yeah, and you can taste it too. I mean, the food is so vibrant. As you can see, the colors are vibrant. They're bringing in fresh fish, fresh proteins as well, just like the other restaurants. But that connection with the farm means that then they're getting the freshest and the first picks of things.
Yeah, and then Stella's on Rocky Slope Road. This has been on your list before. I think it was great places to bring the family to celebrate.
It's a great spot to celebrate, but also Chef Anthony there is so thoughtful about working with farmers, even small farmers too, who maybe can't get a foot in the door at some of the larger restaurants or larger operations in town. He works with the little ones and is willing to spend the time and the money to get to know them and to source what they have, because it's important for these little farmers so that they can grow into the big farmers.
Yeah, and they're going to have incredible things to share. And it's another great relationship that benefits all.
Yes.
Finally, Hotel Domestique in the mountains of Travelers Rest. Now we've got Restaurant 17 there, a farm-to-table place with the most scenic of all views.
I mean, this wins for the scenic view for sure. I mean, you sit there and you can just see the Smoky Mountains doing their thing. You know, it's really an impressive place to dine. But aside from the environment, Chef Hayden Shack there works very closely with several farms. One in particular is Broken Oak Organics that's right there about a mile away from the restaurant. And again, working with those farmers and saying, I want to have turnips, I want to have daikon on my menu, I want to, carrots and all of these things, and then sourcing those specifically for the menu that he's building. So again, really thoughtful, fine dining environment. Definitely not just a family spot. This is a date night, and you can tell with the food, as you see, it's really beautiful, and the thought and intention that goes into it, again, is starting with where the food is coming from.
Well, you savor every bite when you're there.
Yep.
You're always discovering places, writing about them in Off the Grid Greenville. Anything to be on the the lookout for coming up?
Well, one thing I have to mention that's so local is Skunk Fest is coming up in 2 weeks. And, you know, we just put out a reminder for people yesterday with Off the Grid that it's coming up. Get your tickets. There's a lot of really good local food there, by the way.
So well, let's dig into all that sometime soon.
Thank
you very much, Ariel.
Thank you.
And people can follow you on social media, see where Ariel's adventures take her. We'll put that information on screen now. Ariel Turner. Meanwhile,